I think about this holistic approach to life, sort of like what people do, or I see it often, is they try to compartmentalize their life, and they're like, well, I'm making money in business, but their like personal relationships or their other things in their life are falling apart. And I always think of the analogy of like trying to like put a fire into a closet, and I'm like, dude, that thing's gonna get out. That's not gonna stay indoors just because you put the door closed in the closet. Like you can't. You have to sort of think of these more, like you said, family, community, these things that are outside of just this very narrow scope of making money. Otherwise, you end up making the money hurts the other things in a net, maybe not net total loss or total worse, but it's not as it's a big sacrifice, an unnecessary sacrifice, I think.
Yeah, for sure, Alex. I think you're right. I think we try to focus on where we're succeeding and not look at the areas that are falling apart. And there are seasons for that too, where I can't tell you that I haven't at times while I was building my businesses early on, that I didn't let my health go a little too far, where I wasn't exercising and I did gain a bunch of weight. And, I think the idea here is that you catch it and you find a new habit you can build into your life that still keeps you healthy, still keeps you spending time with your family, or keeps you doing whatever the thing is you need to do that you probably think you don't have time for. But the reality is it just boils down to time blocking whatever that thing is and doing the math on it. And then all of a sudden you're like, all right, I have a half hour here, an hour here. I can, make it work. And you guys know this better than anything. If you're a dual career, which, many in the military are, you've got to learn how to balance that type of stuff. And, I saw that firsthand. My main executive in my real estate business, John Clyde. I mean, he was a state trooper, and had a real estate team. And, you guys should get him on. He's awesome. He wrote a book called Leaving Six Figures. And, he left his pension a couple years before it was up to come and work full-time real estate, but he'd already built an empire in real estate by the time he did that. So you've got to learn, you tend to focus on those areas where you do well. And, the good thing about John and the people that I admire most is that they're able to keep their family life as the priority still while they're doing all of that. John's not let his health go. He's in fit, awesome shape. I am as well. And then, we both focus on our families, and so does our whole team. There's other great leaders that are on our team, and it trickles down to them. It's an ethos that you take care of yourself, you take care of your family, and we take care of each other and each other's families. And then after that, then you get the work done. And we have high goals. It's not like we're slacking on things that we're doing either, but you gotta balance both. Life's really a balance. So there's a season for getting your hustle on and maybe letting some things go for a moment because you really need to get something set up, but you got to come back to your ground and keep some things going. And you can't just disconnect from family, especially.
Yeah. I think that's one of the things I love most about GoBundance. When I joined, I thought it was the wealth building aspect and the network and all of that. And I mean, that's definitely there. When I first joined, so Nigel Geisinger lives in the same town I do. He and I went to lunch, and within 2 weeks of that lunch, the 2 connections that he made for me made 10 times what the cost of GoBundance is for, so that part is there. But the part that's been game changer for me was the vulnerabilities at Park City, like some of the conversations that we had, the talking to people about purpose and contribution and health and all of the other aspects and pillars of GoBundance that I don't want to say I had neglected. I mean, my health is definitely not where it should be, but I don't know that they were completely neglected, but they didn't keep pace with the wealth building. And it's been huge to have people call me out on that and start working that way. So it's been good.
Yeah, watching David from the outside, actually, David and I are pretty close. We talk regularly, and we've been friends for a long time. And watching him join GoBundance from the outside, and then watching the way that he has invested in his family over the last 6 months, tremendous difference. And it's very exciting for me to see. I don't know if he notices it as much. He does it. And then I see the difference in him like kind of after the fact. So the conversations that we have are much different, much healthier. So to me, just from the outside looking in, I'm like, okay, that's a much more valuable investment of time, because David's great at business. He's going to be fine. And it's good to see, like you said, it's easy to lean into the things you're good at and sort of like compartmentalize the things you're bad at. But the debt always comes due for the things that you put off, and health, family, these things are, they're just not worth neglecting. So it's really interesting to see sort of what you're saying, but then I see the evidence in him.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Great job. And way to call out your friend, or call up your friend and partner here. That's great.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go read Ego is the Enemy again. I appreciate that.
Well, I spend the vast majority of my time dumping on David. So, a couple of unpredictable compliments here and there is warranted.
Well, as good